Hi, this is David Bowman with the Fly Lab, and this is a tying instructional video on Bowman's October Caddis Drifter. I have a Hazard H11 size 12 hook with a 3mm bead, and I'm going to go ahead and tie in with some 6/0 black thread. Okay, and then I'm going to take some brassy size wire. Just going to rotate this around because I'd like this to be tied in on the far side of the hook. Get this pinned in. And you can see I'm just trying to keep this space between the bead and the materials open for building the head or body of the caddis that sticks out. Okay, and then I take some lead wire. This is 20 thousandths, and I'll wrap it up the shank. Okay, and I'll just put one right in front of that wire, and then I want to leave some space there again to build that caddis. Alright, and then I'm just going to pin this lead down. A couple turns. Alright. Get a little thread behind that wire. You kind of want that at a 90-degree angle to the hook shank. This dubbing is not very important. It's going to be covered. So if, you know, it's kind of a, this is kind of not one of my junky dubbings, but it's not one of my favorites. So I don't, you know, not a big deal if I use a good bit of it just to cover up this lead and build a nice even cylindrical body, so that when I use the wire to pin down the biots, it doesn't compress. So I'm just going to put a few wraps behind the wire here, so that way the biots don't collapse. Okay, put a good dubbing right there, and then come to the front of the wire and just cover this lead up with some dubbing. Alright. Not a big deal if it's a little sloppy. Again, it's all going to be underneath the biots. So, alright, the case is built with biots. Shiny side is going to be facing down, so that way when it folds back, it's shiny. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin. I use about 6 of these biots. They can all be the same color. You can put different colors in, and what I'll do is I'll just lay one right next to the other and go all the way around the hook. Okay, the length is not that critical. A little, you know, variation in how far they fold back is not a bad thing. Okay, just trying to straighten that one up and bring this one down a little closer to the one I just put in. And just get one of these on this side of the hook. Okay. And then I'll put that last one right in that spot, and that'll pretty well cover the fly. Now, it doesn't matter the number of turns of threads that you use here. Alright, not a big deal. I'd actually like to get this one kicked over onto this side. There we go. Alright, and so you can see it's pretty well distributed around the fly. Give it a couple good tight turns now, maybe wind back a little to settle those the points down. Those are not, again, really a main part of the fly, so that's kind of your starting point. Now I'll put a little bit of cement over the top of this, just to give those backs something to stick to. Pin everything down, keep it nice and locked in place. Let me get my thread a little closer to the front here. Bring this through. Okay, so once these are folded back, you take this wire and the wire will pin these ends back. So I'll just sneak this under and I'll make my first wrap around the biots. So something like that. And then I'll wind this forward, making those nice and even. Okay, I'll sneak this right in here in this space. Pull it tight. Alright, and that's your case. And I'll just get rid of that. So that's how you make the case. It's a bunch of biots tied around in a whirl, folded back. Alright, a wire traps them down, and that's not bad. So then I'll take some light olive spectrumized dubbing. This is Delaware River Club. That's these pycnocyte larvae up on the Delaware. They're a light olive, kind of transparent. And so we'll just try to match that as best as we can. Put a little bit of this on there. Alright, and then I'm going to build a little body of a caddis coming out of that case. Alright, not bad. Now I have a soft tackle feather here ready to go, so I'm just going to tie this in and do a whirl of soft tackle just for legs. Just grab that tip. Okay, pin that down with a wrap or two of thread. A couple nice solid turns. Get rid of this extra sticking out. Alright, and then I'll hold this feather up and I flatten back all the fibers. Okay, so that when it winds around, none of them get trapped. And I'm just going to do one turn. Okay, one full turn with this feather. Okay, so you kind of want to see where that ends, and then put a wrap of thread over that. Pull everything back. Do a couple nice solid turns. That way your stem gets trapped. We'll find the end of it, get rid of it. Okay, getting there. So now I'll just pull these fibers down. Okay, get them facing down and put a wrap of thread over them. Okay, anything that's a problem, we'll just get rid of it. So, something like that. Alright, and then I'll just throw a teeny bit more dubbing in front of those soft tackle fibers. Now you can do this by just tying in any kind of legs that you like or prefer, or you can do it like I did with a soft tackle feather. That does not matter very much. I like to keep that on the thinner side there as this ends. And then I'll put a little collar of black thread. Okay. And I'll whip finish. And again, this is extremely difficult with a camera, but at least you see how that's made. Okay, and so that's the Bowman's O.C.D. October Caddis Drifter. Different color biots, giving it a nice two-tone look with these shaggy backs here. Looks like, you know, a cased caddis. And thanks for watching.